New York City are ramping up security ahead of the Macy's fireworks show tonight on the Hudson. NYPD Chief of Department Jeffrey Madry.
You'll see our K-9 deployment, some of our counterterrorism deployment. You'll see members at our entry points doing soft screenings.
The city's also urging people to leave items like backpacks and umbrellas at home. Beryl is now a Category 2 hurricane packing 110-mile-an-hour winds, but could be downgraded even further before making landfall on the Yucatan Peninsula later tonight. Our Tom Hansen's following the storm from Jamaica.
Hurricane Beryl is far from over. It's hitting the Cayman Islands today. People there have been boarding up windows and filling sandbags to protect their homes. And in eastern Mexico, preparations are also underway in resort areas including Cancun and Tulum.
Storm surge from Beryl is also expected in Texas. Texas Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett is urging President Biden now to drop out of the presidential race despite praising the president's accomplishments.
The president needs to realize that it's not just the people that love him the most in his family or the staff that has surrounded him and want to keep their positions, but that he needs to look at the numbers in the polls and listen to some of the people that are out there expressing concern.
His comments among the growing calls for withdrawal now following Biden's debate performance. Brits have some time still to cast their votes across the pond.
British voters appear poised to end 14 years of Conservative Party rule.
The Conservatives have got to go.
I think it's time for a change.
I've been a Labour voter basically since I could vote. I'm feeling excited.
She's right to be. At least one poll predicts the left-leaning opposition Labour Party is on track for the biggest election victory here since 1832. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
The German town of Gelsenkirchen has temporarily changed its name to Swiftkirchen ahead of welcoming thousands of fans for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. A Swiftie started a petition to make that happen. Taylor's playing 3 shows in Swiftkirchen starting July 17th. She'll be in Amsterdam this weekend. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility, great pay, and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Whatever happened to Tony Horton, the guy who created the revolutionary P90X?
2017, I was knocked down. A very rare type of shingles that went straight into my brain. My body was completely wasting away. I started researching everything related to building my muscle back again. That's when I learned about the potential of HMB plus vitamin D3 and what they can do when it comes to helping build new muscle.
So Tony developed high-impact protein by Power Life.
Just add 1 scoop of high-impact protein to a glass of water or your morning smoothie and enjoy the effects of that boss molecule and factory worker combination. Reshaping your body each and every day. More energy, burn more fat, and probably drop a few pounds along the way.
High-impact protein by Power Life is a tasty once-a-day powder that comes in either whey or plant protein. Go to mypowerlife.com and use code Horton to save 30%. Tony even offers a 90-day guarantee. Go to mypowerlife.com or text Horton to 511-511. Text Horton to 511-511 today. All individuals are unique. Your results can and will vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Text
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Jim Hunter with KCJJ News. A special education aide working for the Muscatine Public School System has been denied unemployment benefits after being fired for posting a video on social media showing him masturbating. Iowa Capital Dispatch reports Wyatt Mason began working for the Muscatine Community School District as a full-time special education aide in September 2023. This past February 16th, the district became aware that at some point in time, a video had been posted to Mason's public Twitter account showing him masturbating. He was fired 4 days later. An Iowa Workforce Development representative later determined there was no evidence of willful misconduct and said he was entitled to unemployment benefits. The district appealed, citing policy that prohibits social media posts that disrupt the educational process or put at risk a worker's effectiveness as a school district employee. During a recent hearing, Administrative Law Judge Carly Smith denied the benefits to Mason. In her ruling, she said Mason, quote, intentionally filmed himself masturbating and then deliberately posted the video on his Twitter account. This account was public, so students or family members of the students could view the video. This violated the employer's social media policy and the employee conduct policy. The state of Iowa and a woman injured when a University of Iowa CAM bus slid on an icy road and hit her vehicle in 2018 have agreed to settle a suit ahead of trial. The Gazette reports 48-year-old Yolande Parker sued for $1 million for injuries to her knee, neck, and back, and to recover damages for past and future medical costs, lost wages, and pain and suffering. She originally sued the driver as well as the state, but dropped the driver from the suit later. On the afternoon of December 28, 2018, the bus hit Parker's vehicle on Oakdale Road near Terra Lane in Coralville. She accused the driver of going too fast for conditions and failing to maintain control. The state countered that Parker was, quote, comparatively at fault. Trial was scheduled for September 13th, but the Gazette reports the State Appeal Board approved a settlement Wednesday for $68,000. An Iowa City woman faces possible prison time after being charged with her third OWI and a count of child endangerment. Police say the incident occurred Sunday evening. According to the arrest report, 40-year-old Heather Zeringer of East Court Street got into an argument with her spouse. The spouse and the spouse's brother left the residence in a vehicle, and Zeringer reportedly followed them in another vehicle, accompanied by her 5-year-old daughter. Officers were waiting when Zeringer reportedly walked up to the residence with the child. She allegedly showed signs of intoxication, including bloodshot, watery eyes, slurred speech, impaired balance, and the odor of ingested alcohol. She reportedly admitted to drinking and showed measurable indications of intoxication on field tests. Zeringer refused a post-arrest PBT. She allegedly had the key to the vehicle in her pocket, and it was located parked a block away. When placed under arrest, Zeringer allegedly attempted to walk away and continued to resist officers as she was handcuffed and placed in a squad car. Zeringer was charged with OWI third offense, child endangerment, and interference with official acts. If convicted on all counts, she could be sentenced to over 7 years in prison. A National Weather Service team says Tuesday's storm showed no signs of a tornado path and instead showed evidence of straight-line winds. The Gazette reports the survey team went Wednesday to the area around U.S. Highway 1 and Phoebe Lane west of Highway 218 and found tree damage but no path of a tornado. A survey team also could not confirm reports of a tornado near the West Branch area. Tuesday's severe storms were worst south of Interstate 80, with the National Weather Service taking reports from terrain spotters of 81-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Riverside and Frytown. In sports, Williamsburg has been replaced atop the Class 3A poll in the latest softball rankings released by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. The Raiders fell to number 2 this week, replaced by the new number 1, Benton Community. Also in Class 3A, West Liberty held steady at number 11. The Class 5A poll saw Liberty improve from 11th to 9th, while Clear Creek Amana remains at number 12 in Class 4A. Regina also held its position from last week in Class 2A, coming in at number 6. Our final regular season summer sports broadcast is Monday night on KCJJ as the West High baseball team hosts Clear Creek Amana, first pitch at 5 o'clock. Our early postseason schedule can be found on the KCJJ app and at 1630 KCJJ.com. The schedule will be updated as the postseason continues. That's a look at Iowa City's news first on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. I'm Jim Hunter.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible today and into this evening. Our high today right around 85 with wind out of the south at 5 to 15. We will be dealing with a few scattered showers and thunder showers around fireworks time tonight, but they should gradually wind down as we head into the evening. 64 our overnight low. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and isolated thunderstorm. Little breezy with a high near 76. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 78.
You're listening to Molly Suter on the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Yes, you are, but it's not just me.
It's me, too. Don't forget me.
It's Cindy. I would never forget you.
Are your bangs chunkier than normal?
I did trim them this
It's
morning.
cute. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, I've gotten compliments whenever I cut them by myself, which usually isn't the case, like when people cut bangs by themselves. But I do it in, I guess, an artful way.
Well, you don't do it like most people do. Wet. Too short.
actually did do it wet.
Well, but you didn't do like, oh, I want it here, and then you cut it there
No,
wet. Okay,
no,
you know that.
I know how wet hair works.
Yeah,
thankfully.
most people don't.
No, and the key is to only do a little at a time. Like if you do it gradually, like it turns out better than if you just are like, okay, I'll just
Yeah,
this big inch.
I'm more like 5 seconds before I have to leave somewhere. Chop, chop. Okay, it looks bad, but I don't care.
Well, the thing is, like, I originally got curtain bangs, which are like so sweet, you know, curtains for your forehead.
Yeah.
And they were a little bit too long, but I didn't want to, like, you know, when the hairdresser's like, do you like it? And like you're too awkward to say, oh, actually, can we change this? Can we change this? Can we change this? And so I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then the curtain bangs immediately became whatever I chop these into bangs. But
That's
thank you
cute.
for saying they're cute.
It's Taylor Swift coded, sort of.
Is
The
it?
chunky bang.
Okay.
At least what I think of when I look at it. Which
Well,
I'm guessing you're not offended by that.
No, I'm not offended by that. It wasn't my intention, but I'm not offended by that at all.
It's super cute.
All right, so we are here celebrating the anniversary of something so iconic. I am, of course, talking about the Caesar salad. Do you know that turns 100 today?
Oh, is that why it's all over my TikTok?
Yes.
Okay. Because I watched a 5-minute video on the restaurant that invented it or something, and I would love to see that made. Like they make the dressing and everything right in front of you in that restaurant. Yeah. It's like egg, and I'm sure it's not.
Do you know what? I don't have eggs in my Caesar salad. I think that's
Well, what
nasty.
is the dressing made out of?
I'm not sure. It's like garlic and...
Like the original restaurant, like they have like this big huge bowl, and it's like a whole thing that they do at your table side. And then like, I didn't pay attention to what was in it, but lettuce, obviously.
Well.
But they make the dressing and
so
everything.
They toss the salad.
Exactly,
Okay.
right in front of you.
Okay.
It's not a euphemism for anything.
No.
It's literally,
It's literally
they literally
tossing
make
the
a
salad
salad
right in
at
front
your
of you.
table. I would love to go to a restaurant
Actually, that sounds great.
They should make a restaurant that does the Caesar salad at your table.
Yes.
And then you can get guacamole made at your table. Have you ever had that done?
No.
I think I have. I know I've seen it done
Where?
on TV a bunch of times.
Is
There's
there
a
anywhere
place
around here?
in Georgia that used to do it. But
Oh, I'm never in Georgia.
and I want to say, you know, there's a Mexican restaurant. Was it not Stella's? Out in Solon, in the Solon area, that when they first opened, they did fresh guacamole.
The only one that I know in Solon is Frida Kahlo.
Frida's, I think
Was it
was.
Frida
yeah.
Kahlo?
And I
Okay.
think when they first opened, this was years ago,
Mhm.
they did, because I remember going out there specifically to get the guacamole made at my, I don't think they do that anymore, but.
No, I've been there once and they did not do that for us.
But then have you seen the places that do, they have like the big, whatever they call it, the big wheel of, I'm guessing Parmesan cheese probably.
Yeah.
And then they cook the fresh pasta and then they put it hot on top of the cheese wheel and kind of like roll it around, and then they dip that into your all at the table. So they should have a
No.
restaurant that has just table service for everything.
For everything, yeah.
I mean, maybe that would be Benihana, but still.
Yes, but Benihana, isn't that like exclusively Japanese cuisine?
Right. They don't do like
Yeah. So
other
like this
stuff.
is like Benihana, but for non-Japanese cuisine.
Maybe they could put the tables like on wheels, and you could just go to each different station.
Ooh.
Like, here's your Caesar salad being made by the person that makes the Caesar salad.
We have a golden opportunity
Yeah.
to make it, Cindy.
This is our
I don't know if
gimmick.
I don't know if I want to pivot to the restaurant business.
I mean, historically, it's wildly easy.
but if
right?
if anyone listening does that, you need to give Cindy credit. For
No,
that.
I'm fine handing these out. Just invite me to the opening.
Oh,
I'll even pay.
What? You don't want
To see
like
Caesar salad made in front of me?
You don't want like 5% of the profits for your idea?
I'll take 5% off food.
Only 5? Oh,
Because
my
most
goodness.
of my ideas are not.
Dream big, Cindy.
My ideas are never good. That's why.
No,
I'm the
what
queen
you
of
just
bad
said-
ideas.
No, what you just said is a fantastic idea. Like Benihana, but for like Mexican food, and then salad.
Or whatever they call the tableside service stuff. Like there's a bunch of restaurants that do it kind of as a gimmick sort of thing. Like the cheese wheel thing is definitely a gimmick, but I think it's
Right.
an Italian restaurant that does it.
I guess tableside service is just what it was.
Maybe that's
what
what
it
we'll call
would be
it.
called. Yeah. The restaurant is called tableside service?
And you just have instead of a waiter or waitress, you just have various people coming and making food at your table.
Oh I love that.
It's a dining experience.
Yeah, I've never been to like Benihana or anything, or an Italian place that does.
I've never seen that. I mean,
the closest thing I've ever been to is the waiter at Italian restaurants, like grating cheese on your pasta, being like, "Say when," and then you never say when.
This isn't making at the table, but they have this thing called raclette. I think it's called raclette.
What's that?
They take a big wheel of cheese. Everything good starts with a big wheel of cheese,
course.
and then they stick it under like a broiler thing. Specifically for this, I think it's French, and then they bring that hot like layer to your table and push it onto your.
Wait, yes, I've seen that on TikTok.
Bricks in Iowa City does it, or they did. I don't know if they still do, but they did a couple years ago.
Is that across from Hamburg?
Yes.
Yeah, I've never been there just because I'm not. I know I'm gonna catch a few strays for saying this. I don't love like charcuterie boards. And I feel like whenever I see the Bricks Wine and Cheese sign, it just reminds me of like, oh, that's probably a charcuterie board place.
I think they do that, but they also do other stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I would ordinarily not go there just because it's wine focused, but like it's also cheese focused. So
I don't like wine that much either, and like cheese is okay, but usually I like cheese on top of
do
things.
They advertise here?
No.
Okay.
They don't, and so maybe we should stop.
I'm just saying that's, and I don't know of any other. The only other, have you ever been to a, what are the places where they go around with like big sticks of meat and like shave it onto your table?
What? No, I've never heard of that.
Brazilian steakhouses. Have you ever been to one of those?
No.
Oh my God, those are amazing.
What?
And usually they have, the one I went to, it was in Georgia. They had the most amazing side dish, like buffet type thing, but then people would just walk around and they would just, like they'd have lamb and beef and I don't know what other kind of, I think it's Greek. No, it's Brazilian, obviously. Brazilian steakhouse. But I just,
that sounds really good though.
Yeah. And then like, you have to put up like they have different, I can't remember if it was a sign or something where if you want more meat, you put a certain sign out. If you're done,
that's
you just
perfect.
Put the
So you don't have to flag the waiter down.
Right,
be like,
right.
more meat, please.
It was pretty amazing. I think the meat tasted good. I just liked the experience of it. That was fun. I could write a book about my food travels. All the stupid places I've gone to.
None of those sound stupid. Although, the restaurant that invented the Caesar salad, that's in Mexico, right? So
I don't know, and I don't know if I don't know.
It's in Tijuana.
Like, I didn't even realize it was a big thing. I just thought, I watched somebody making food and I just watch it.
But yeah, that's why it's all over your FYP.
Okay. That makes more sense.
So, what I've been getting recently on my FYP is people making, like, solo trips doing something kind of daring. So I saw a guy try to sail across the Pacific Ocean on a sailboat. Have you seen that? Oh, I think maybe I sent you a video of his, but if not, I'll send it to you. But yeah, he's in this one little tiny sailboat and he is crossing the entire Pacific Ocean. And he's like an amateur too. He's not been sailing for that long, and I'm just like, dude, what? There was this one video, and I've mentioned this on my show before just because, like, I couldn't not talk about it. It made me nervous just looking at it, and I wasn't even there. But anyway, so, there's this phenomenon on the open water called the doldrums, and that's when there's no wind at all. Like, there's no wind in the area, and so there's no waves. It's pretty glassy. And if you're on a sailboat, that means you don't go anywhere.
Right.
Because you need the wind, But, so he was like, all right. And so he takes this paddleboard out, and he starts, like, paddleboarding around his ship, and he starts the video, and he's, like, showing everyone, like, look, there's nothing in any direction, and the water's pretty glassy because it's the doldrums. And, like, his boat in the background is this tiny...
Oh my God. I'm getting anxiety.
It's this tiny little white thing. And all the comments were like, dude, go back to your boat. What? Because if you lose sight of your boat and you get turned around,
you're done.
You're done. Where is your boat? Like, he was so far away. And so I kept scrolling down in the comments, and one of them was like, I want whatever anxiety medication he's on.
Oh my God.
Because, like, it's doing wonders.
There's people that don't get anxious, and I don't understand how they live their life.
No, but, like...
They live it like that. They're out in the open water.
They're out in the open water on a paddle boat.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. I'll take my anxiety over that anytime.
And so I'm just like, what? And so I've been following along, and, like, he just makes videos about, like, life on the boat. And he... One time, there was a tear in his sail, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll try to sew this up. I've never sewn anything before, though.
I think he's trolling.
No.
He sounds like he's trolling.
No, absolutely not. It was stressful, though. It was stressful seeing those videos, but I can't not watch, you know?
I think it was last year maybe at this time I think there's a big race that happens. It's not sailboat, but
it's like Ragbri with boats.
Yeah, and there was that all-women crew, which I think was pretty unusual. Maybe that was the first time. I don't know why. They ended up on my TikTok, and I watched. I think I don't know if I ever followed it through to the end, but they were posting all the time. It was like 4 or 5 girls on a boat, and they would just constantly be rowing. It was a rowboat. And it was from California to Hawaii. I think we talked about it.
I think you sent it to me. Yeah.
That was pretty fascinating.
That's crazy.
But why didn't he why isn't he rowing? Like,
with a sailboat like that, I think you would probably...
Don't you have backup motors, or...?
No, because it's a sailboat.
I know, but some sailboats have motors on it.
None of his videos have implied that there's a motor. And what I didn't mention is the doldrums can last for weeks. And so, like, back before motorboats, when, like, you know, those big, like, pirate ships would sail across, like, yeah, you would sometimes have to just stay in one place for a couple of weeks until you suddenly got wind again. And yeah, people died because you were just there. You were standing in one place for like 2 weeks.
And you can't drink any of the water surrounding you.
Well, so the neat thing for him, though, he brought this thing with him that, like, purifies rainwater and salt water and makes it into drinkable water. And so he will never run out of water.
Pee. I think he can probably put his pee in there, too.
Probably. I mean, pee is sterile.
I'm sure when he gets a low point in his ratings, he'll bring out that little...
Gosh, I just can't believe... Why? What would possess someone?
I mean, unless he's got somebody, like, behind him, like, that's sponsoring him and not really being obvious about it. Like, I don't understand how this is even safe.
He hasn't said anything about, like, there being a buddy or whatever. But he does have, like, distress signals to, like, alert any Coast Guard or whatever nation he's by in case he gets in trouble so he can be rescued.
I mean, there's pirates. There's, like, literal pirates out there still.
I thought those were mostly, like, off the coast of Africa, though.
What about sharks? He's out there playing in the water?
Yeah, there are sharks.
And sharks are, like, worse than ever right now, aren't they? Gonna, like, that was all over my FYP a couple weeks ago.
The destined shark attacks?
I mean, there's just, like, tons of sharks.
Well,
it made it sound like they were
the Pacific.
Well, I know, but still, like, there's animals out there that are alerted to movement. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to be out there with... Even a jellyfish would be like...
And he's catching fish as he goes, too. Like, he has, like, food that he brought, obviously, like, handheld grab-and-go stuff. But he also catches fish and eats them. I would be concerned that, like, I would somehow get, like, a poisonous fish and, like, die.
Or end up with scurvy.
Or, like, undercook it and get, like, really, really sick, you know? And then die. Because you're out in the middle of the ocean.
How are people going to know if he dies, though?
I guess, I mean, he does have an internet connection. I think he's using Starlink. And so, like, people will probably be like, hey, we haven't heard from this dude in a while. But yeah, I'll send you.
Send me the link so I can keep an eye on him, just because I think he's faking it. But I'll have to see.
I don't think so.
The closest do you follow Will Survives?
No, I haven't.
He's a dude that when I first started watching him, I think he's got a YouTube channel that he does more stuff on, but he was living in the forest. He thought he didn't do enough research. He thought he'd be okay on this particular land.
Nope.
He lived there for like 9 months, built a nice little, thing. He never left anything behind. Like, he always took his, he was really, really respectful of the land around him. Mm-hmm. But he made like a little, I don't know, tree house or whatever, little area, and had a basketball hoop. He would video, and post all of his little creations online. And then he got busted because it was like public land or something. I forget how he did it.
And or private land, I guess.
Then he went, some viewer saw him and said, hey, come on over to my land. Well, it turns out that land, there was some issues with ownership. So he's just like bouncing from land to land and hooking up with other, like YouTubers and stuff that do that kind of survival type stuff.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, he seems like a good kid, but that's the closest I get to somebody who's like living.
That reminds
like,
me
chaotically.
What you were just describing reminds me of this short story that we had to read for one of my Spanish classes in college, and it's stayed with me ever since. Like, it was about this one man who lived near the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, I believe, and he decided that he was unfulfilled in his like office job life, and so he's like, I'm gonna go and survive in the Amazon rainforest. And so he goes, very unprepared, and he goes into the rainforest, walks for a while, and then was like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna see what's around here, what I can gather. And so he finds this wild honey. And he's like, oh, I love honey. And so he goes over and he starts like scooping up the honey and eating it. He's like, oh, it's so good. And then he sits at the base of a tree to like rest for a while. Mm-hmm. And so something starts happening to him. He loses feeling in his hands, in his arms, and it just travels all around his body until he is completely paralyzed. Till he is completely paralyzed.
Does a big spider come out?
Because of this honey with paralytic properties, I guess. No, it's worse. It's carnivorous ants that find him and eat him alive. Because he is...
Is that a real thing?
No, I think it was fantasy. But, I mean, I don't know, though. Like, who knows what's in the Amazon rainforest?
Has, like, spiders as big as a human. I mean, they have everything in there.
There might be carnivorous ants there. Who knows? But, yeah... I'm just like, that story freaked me out. I'm just like, okay, I guess I won't go to the Amazon rainforest.
Stay out of the woods.
Professor, what was the story supposed to teach us about, I guess, not be careful of your own hubris, I guess?
Exactly, yeah. Do a little research. Google before you go out into the woods.
Yes, maybe put some thought and intention behind the things you do. I don't know, but it was... And I don't love ants now because of that. I'm like, I don't need to be around ants.
They're horrible this year anyway.
Oh, gosh. There's
trying
so
to
many.
Keep them out of your house.
There's
I get
so
a
many.
Different wave of different kinds every year.
See, I think the gnats have been terrible this year.
I haven't been outside very much. So, yeah.
Ticks, too. I have this friend who is an archaeologist, and she goes out for field work sometimes, and she says that her and her team found 73 ticks while out in the field. I think that was over the course of, like, a few days. Like, whenever their time slot is for field work, whatever. But still, 73? I have not seen a tick since I was 12.
Well, I, like, last year or the year before, I took Moose, my dog, on a walk, and I was going to stay on the path. And I noticed you could go veer off. This is by Terry Trueblood. So I went off into the woods thinking, I'm going to be adventurous. Just like that guy that went into the Amazon. Of course, I ended up getting lost. But I ended up getting out. But, like, when we got home, it was such a fun adventure. But when we got home, ticks. Like, I probably pulled, 10 of them between the two of us.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, what is going on? Like, every time I would, like, look down, there'd be another tick. And now Moose is on tick and flea.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have you started treating him for flea and tick?
I mean, that immediately, and then he takes a chew every month. It's flea and tick.
Yeah, so my parents do this thing with Wopsy where they it's just this gel thing that goes on her skin, so they just have to lift up her fur and just
That's what we started with, but that didn't seem to do the trick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I saw Wopsy was on the floor one day, on the tile floor, and I saw a bug crawling away from her, and so I'm like, what is that? And I inspect it, and I said, oh, Mom, I think that's a tick. Because it was repelled. It went away from her. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess the flea and tick thing is working because, oh my gosh.
It works on a lot of, it just didn't seem to do the trick with Moose. I don't know why that.
Did you use Frontline? That's what we used.
Yeah, it worked for a couple days and it just wouldn't. He was getting reinfected or something. We figured it out. I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't had problems since.
Good.
So.
Well, yeah, whatever.
But I haven't gotten into the woods with him since, so.
Well.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And I would carry tick spray with me too, just in case, but I don't really take him out for walks very often anymore, so. Bad mom.
I haven't. So my parents are in Europe right now, and so I am in charge of walking Wopsy and feeding her, things like that. And I haven't been able to walk her, not the past 3 mornings, but 3 mornings this week because it's just been pouring down rain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, girl. I can't.
My dog won't even go outside when it's raining.
She won't either. Yeah. No, Wopsy, unless she really has to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put her out on her lead or put her lead on her collar and she's just in the doorway staring at me.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I've had to go outside in the rain and come on outside. I'm out here. It's fine. And then finally he'll go out. But
if it's sprinkling, she'll go out. But I'm talking about
yeah. I'm hoping he doesn't freak out over fireworks tonight. I don't think he'll. Oh, I just have to hide in my back room.
Wopsy's so bad about that. She hates it. And she'll destroy things if I'm not there. And so, when we had severe weather and when there was, fireworks going off and I wasn't here, she likes to destroy the litter boxes that we have downstairs, so we have to, kind of close off that room in a way that, the cats can still get in, so, the door is, a sliver, and so the cats can just, sliver in. But, yeah. So I'm glad I'm going to be with her tonight. All I have to do is dose her with her CBD treats, and she's good, but obviously I can't do that if I'm at work.
Yeah.
And so,
I heard a couple going off already.
I heard some at 10:30 this morning. I'm like, what?
I'm still what's that?
You guys.
It's
4th of July. 10:30?
I have the day off and I still have no idea what's going on. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. All right. Well, do you want to talk about Bridgerton?
Sure. What I can remember of it. It's been a while.
Honestly, it's kind of slipping away from me too.
I know. I'm trying to remember. Okay.
I was a little bit underwhelmed with this season.
I don't know. I really liked it because it was very, girl power, and I really like that the older generation having kind of a romantic interest also.
Yeah, that was nice. I want to see more of what is it, Lord Anderson and the Dowager Viscountess Bridgerton.
I call her Mama Bridgerton. But
Mama Bridgerton.
Yeah, and I have no idea. What is his name again?
Lord Anderson? I think.
Is that right?
Because he's Lord. He's Lady Danbury's brother.
Yeah. I don't.
But that means he has a different last name. But so I guess Anderson.
He's, as they would say on Dairy Girls, cracker. He's very cracker. That means he's very hot.
I think cracker is
good.
Yeah. And I think that's probably still 90s slang from Northern
Ireland. I'm guessing because that's okay to jump subjects.
Yes, jump
Bridgerton had me watching Dairy Girls.
I love Dairy Girls
because I'd seen clips of it and I've seen them, but I've never watched the whole season.
And I've told you that you would love Dairy Girls. And
I know.
You should definitely watch it. So
I sat and watched. Katie and I just watched it, and it was it took us a couple nights, but I loved it.
Yes,
but it took me.
I knew you would love it.
I think I went through I was in the second season before I went, oh, this is in the 90s or 80s?
90s.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. They don't have cell phones.
It's the troubles in Northern Ireland.
Well, and I have no idea. I mean, I was telling Katie, I'm like, I don't know, there's some sort of war, but like, I barely know what happened in American war history. Like, it was a big deal because she kept saying, "Did that really happen?" I'm like, I think so.
I think all of the events that happen are true, but I think the creator, I think her name is Lisa McGee, does a good job at like contextualizing it only how the girls would have seen it, and so they don't know all of the history behind it. They don't know all of the context. They just know that like, is the bridge closed again?
Right. I thought they handled it really well. Like, I didn't know that there was like a big vote that everyone voted on for the treaty or whatever it was. I liked the way that they handled how everyone viewed it and why they were scared about one way or the other. I mean, I thought that was really well handled, even though I had no idea what was going on. It was well
beautifully done. I have not heard any like negative feelings about how that was handled. So I think that it was probably just a good representation of what it was like.
The only thing I didn't like is like no one told me that someone dies in the show.
Yeah.
Nobody important, but still, he's important.
Yeah, he's not like a main
not to spoil,
character.
But I know, but it was very traumatic. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it is sad.
It was very shocking. Again, they handled it well, but also like, it's like, well, you didn't watch Seinfeld, but Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Like all the characters are pretty horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Those girls are horrible. Like they are like horrible humans in the funniest way possible.
I think for them,
they're teenagers.
They're teenagers, and so teenagers are kind of horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think with It's Always Sunny, they're just like terrible adults, which is harder for me to rectify. It's harder for me to sympathize with. But yeah, as a teenager, I'm like, yeah, I thought about that selfishly too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But they acted on everything, and they made the worst possible choices
exactly.
every single time, which made a really great show.
It's a great show. So if you haven't seen Dairy Girls, if you're listening, please, it's on Netflix.
The actresses, I was like trying to tell Katie, I'm like, they're all gorgeous young ladies, but the extent of like their faces that they make all the time, I mean, I'm like, they will make themselves the ugliest they can possibly be just to get a laugh, and I really respect that as I mean, most people, I would think that they want to look attractive all the time, but like they're making faces that are like they know are horrible, but it's like the perfect face.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Especially Nicola. She's just amazing.
Nicola Coughlan is fantastic. And she plays Claire in Dairy Girls. Yeah. And she talks like this.
Look at the stadia!
Look at the stadia! Yeah. It's so funny.
And then that show led me to, I'd seen this already, but I wanted my daughter to watch it. Orla, the actress that plays Orla. She's in Renegade Nell, which is on Disney, I think.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
You would really like it. It's got a little bit of magic in it, but not like overwhelming. And it's based in, I don't know, olden times.
Okay.
In England, Ireland, one of those places.
Well, she's Irish, so she might.
Well, I think it was England. I
don't
know.
She might put on an English accent.
But she plays like a person that gets accused of murder, and she is on the run with her family. It's a cute. It's a cute.
Is it funny or is it like a dramatic?
It's a little bit of everything, I think. It moves pretty quickly. The characters are engaging, I think. The guy from, he's got the worst role ever, but the guy in Ted Lasso that played the coach that was like the ball boy at first, and then he became an assistant coach, and then he went and played. Did you watch the whole thing?
No.
Okay,
I watched the first season and then like 3 episodes of the second.
Well, in the first season, he was like the towel guy. He was the equipment manager.
Yeah, that guy. Okay.
So he plays like the little fairy that's like in charge of the magic that this woman like is the worst role ever, because both Katie and I are like, we can barely see him. Like he's like always, it's just really funny. But
yeah, okay.
I highly recommend that if you're on the like little.
How many seasons is it, and how many episodes per season?
It's one of those one season, maybe 6 or 7 episods. It's not very long.
Okay, so it's not very long.
We're almost done with it.
So I'll watch that before I cancel Disney Plus, because I'm about to do that at the end of this month.
I think you'll like it, because it's like a period. You like that kind of stuff.
I do.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Also, you haven't led me astray with TV show recommendations yet. You recommended Beforeigners to me, which I'm still very upset that I can't watch season 2 of it. It like disappeared from every like U.S. streaming service.
I don't know.
And Paper Girls, which I
Love
watched again with my parents, and I loved even more the second time. Very bummed that they're not getting a season 2.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. And then I did enjoy Ted Lasso season 1. I just didn't care for what I saw season 2, and I got distracted and didn't finish it. But you know how that goes.
Season 2 wasn't very good anyway, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, so I take your ex seriously.
Well, you always recommend romantic comedies to me, so.
Did you watch the movie that I recommended to you? Because you liked the Nicole Kidman and
I haven't
Zac
yet.
Efron
I
one?
have seen clips of that one, and I don't know if I'm going to like that one or not, but
It wasn't funny. It was more of a. It's the same kind of concept though. Like it's not the young woman as the love interest. It's the older
I
woman.
like that, but I also have a hard time. Like, isn't Anne Hathaway kind of a like? We're supposed to believe that she couldn't get a hot young dude. Is that what we're supposed to believe?
No.
Okay.
No.
Or she doesn't believe she can?
Well, that's more likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they didn't really focus. Did you watch the Zac Efron one?
You know, I watched like half of it.
The face.
I didn't love it.
Their faces are a little distracting. I will say that.
It's because of all of the.
I think they've had some
work done, especially Zach. Zach's had a lot of work done.
And I read somewhere that he had gotten into some sort of
he
like
got
he
into
fell or something.
He got into an accident, and like a lot of the reconstruction was like not purely plastic, but enough to where like it's noticeable.
Yeah, I personally, the whole entire movie, I watched it with Katie, and I'm like, he's so handsome. Like, even with his face doing whatever it's doing, he's still one of the most handsome people I've ever seen in my life.
He's
like,
very
he is
handsome.
just very. And then he takes his shirt off, and you're like, how? God gave with both hands on that dude. But I also like him because he always doesn't mind looking like a jerk when he's, playing a role. Like, he plays kind of a jerky character, which I liked. And I like Joey King. Or is that her name? Joey?
Yeah, Joey.
I thought you would like that one, but.
Well, I mean, I was pretty distracted. I think I have to try again when I'm not like scrolling on my phone, which is hard to do.
I know. Yeah, same. But as far as rom-coms go, I liked it. It wasn't one of those, like they just ran into each other. I mean, it made sense. How they got together totally made sense. I thought.
See, I did not think it was plausible at all.
I mean, maybe, like, I don't know if a boss would go to a person's house.
No, especially not
I don't know how
that guy.
assistants work.
Well, I don't either because I'm not an assistant. But for those of you who haven't watched this movie, Zac Efron goes to the house of his 24-year-old assistant, and his assistant lives with her mother. And so the assistant, had just quit because he's not a good boss. He's not a good guy. And so he's trying to get her to come work for him again. And so he shows up at her house, but she's not home. But her mother, Nicole Kidman, is home. And so they strike up a conversation, and then, spoiler, they hook up. And I'm just like, that's not real.
And she walks in.
Yes, and then she walks in on them, which I know people who have, like, walked in on their parents, like, having sex. That's realistic. But, like, the way in which I was unwilling to suspend my disbelief for that.
I was, because I'd seen a clip of, like, behind the scenes of her acting that scene, and her, like, like, her what does she do? She chokes on something, and then she falls. Yeah. And then the people, I don't know who it was, if it was the director, was like, oh, perfect! Like, at the end of it. So I really enjoyed that scene. We actually watched it twice because it was so funny.
No, it is a funny scene.
The only thing did you see it far enough to where he was at the movie and the director spoke French?
No.
And Joey's like, I'll just translate. And then, of course, she just basically said that to Zach. She was, like, punishing him, basically, and telling him all these horrible things that the director supposedly said. But, like, the director also spoke English, so I'm not sure why she couldn't figure out.
No, I didn't get that far.
That joke was bad.
I
but
didn't get that far.
Everything else I enjoyed, which is rare for me on that kind of movie.
I know, I was
but-
surprised when you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was surprised too, and I was surprised I like Bridgerton so much, but I don't really want to rewatch the first 2 seasons, or first season, or whatever it was.
Do you know what? I think the first season was my favorite. Just because, like, and I liked the second season. I didn't love the third season. It was very different from the book. There was less, like, focus on, like, the main couple. And I feel like the main couple in season 1 was, like, the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think season 3, you can point to, like, 3 different plot lines as being the focal point.
Oh, I only really paid attention to Colin and
Penelope? Yeah, see, I thought it was too distracting with Francesca and, what was that name? John? Francesca and John, and then Benedict being a slut again. And then, I did like Eloise and Penelope, like, mending the fence.
Yes,
though.
yeah,
I think that was nice.
That was sweet.
And they can't make me like Cressida. I don't care if she has a bad home life.
I do love her outfits and her hair, though.
Well, her outfits are fine, but I think she
is not
a nice person.
No.
And they can't make me feel bad for her.
I feel a little bit bad for her.
I don't.
Her dad's pretty horrible.
Her dad is horrible, but I don't know. Blackmail is not nice.
No, but it didn't work either, so.
True.
She's desperate. Women don't have any power.
That's true.
But I also tend to like characters that are super flawed.
Yeah, we have different characteristics of what it makes a good character.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I have to like them in order for me to consider them, like, a good character. And I know that's, like, that goes against, like, cinema and, you know, analytics and whatever. But, like, I don't know why I'm way more forgiving in, like, literature and TV shows when it comes to, like, flawed characters. But for, I don't know, for movies, I mean, I have even less patience for it.
Well, because there's not enough time to redeem them.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, like, if you're...
I don't know how many seasons it took Game of Thrones to redeem Jaime, which you didn't watch, but, like, he was a horrible person.
Was it that blonde guy?
That tried to kill the boy at the very beginning. Yeah, I know. He did not start out good.
Who was Jaime?
He was having sex with his sister, who was the queen.
Okay, but doesn't everyone do that?
Yeah, that wasn't the bad part.
I'm asking who is Jaime? Like, is he the blonde guy?
Oh, he's the blonde guy. What was his name? What's his actor's name?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's blonde, handsome. He was part of the Royal Guard. You didn't watch any of it, though. None of that.
It's not going to mean anything to me. Okay, wait. Let me
He
look
lost
it
his
up.
hand.
Oh, spoiler.
Well, God, it's been out forever.
I know. I'm kidding. Okay. Jaime
Lannister. I think you know the actor.
Oh,
but he was
he was not the guy I was talking about. I don't know who I was talking about. Blonde guy in Game. I always see his picture as a reaction image. Yeah. This guy, Joffrey Baratheon.
Oh no, he's Joffrey Baratheon. He's the son and was the king for a while. He's the worst.
Okay.
He does not get redeemed.
No, but I always see his like shocked face as like a reaction image to things. That's part of my only context of Game of Thrones. That and Daenerys Targaryen, drinker of lattes.
When they left the Starbucks
the Starbucks cup
Whoops.
in.
Somebody probably got fired over that.
I love that so much. And I know it probably breaks the illusion or whatever, but it is funny.
I know, but I never even noticed it because I don't ever watch for that. But
I saw
some people just really dig in.
I saw the clip too, like before it was like edited and post or whatever and put back up on streaming. Like somebody uploaded the clip to Twitter or whatever. It was so funny.
There's a lot to keep track of with that kind of show, I would guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else we watched.
Doctor Who?
Oh, yes. So, okay, I posted this on Facebook. It felt like it was like a final exam over all of the episodes from the beginning of Doctor Who, and I had no idea. Like, I completely failed the exam. I didn't know who anyone was. I kind of knew that redheaded chick had been with him.
Oh yeah,
earlier because I kind of recognized her. But other than that, I'm like, who are these people? Like,
I only did that because of context clues. Because like he said offhanded, like, oh, I used to travel with her, or oh, she knew my granddaughter Susan, or oh, she, whatever. And the way she was like looking lovingly at the TARDIS when like the condensed one came, I'm like, okay, that means she's probably like an old companion, but. Yeah, I've never seen Classic Who, as it's called.
I mean, I've seen it, like, in passing. I've just never really watched it, because it...
I don't think it's... I tried to watch an episode from the 70s, and I just couldn't get past, like, there was no, like, effects or whatever. I know it's the 70s, but, like, there was no effects, and, like, with a show about outer space, that's kind of it's a little bit...
I feel like it's like you could see the strings holding the planets.
No, exactly.
You know, that kind of...
Like, it was very...
We're just spoiled by... I tried watching Ghostbusters, like the original one.
Oh, I just saw that for the first time a few weeks ago.
Some of the effects are actually pretty good for that time period. Like, but there was a couple, like there was one where there's like one of the animals is like jumping off into the distance, like one of the hellhounds or whatever. And it was like so obvious that it was like almost like a cartoon or something. It was so bad. But like, what was that, 80s, 90s?
84.
We've come a long, long way.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. But I just didn't really, like, I didn't pay super close attention, so I was even more lost. But, like, it was another one of those where they're jumping around in space and time, and I'm not quite... So, who's Ruby's mom?
Oh.
Like, it's just some girl, right?
Did you not see my
I saw that you had explained it, but it's still, like, that's what we were waiting for? Is that...
Well, okay, so, for those of you who have maybe not seen the ending yet and want to, spoilery. Anyway, but, it turns out Ruby's mom is just some girl that gave birth when she was 15 and couldn't raise a child. And so, but since they have been making such a big deal about finding her, that I guess the baddie, the monster that they were fighting, thought, oh, if the doctor is so concerned with who this girl's mother is, she must be important. And then when the monster was defeated and they find out who Ruby's mom actually is, Doctor realizes, oh, she's just some girl, and she's important because we made her important, which a lot of people in your comment section didn't like because they thought it was a cop-out. I had a different perspective on it. I think in the past, for, like, Stephen Moffat and Chris Chibnall would have had some big cosmic revelation, like she is the daughter of another Time Lord, and blah, 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 blah. But I feel like I like the simplicity of we just gave a random woman power because we thought she was important. And Ruby, we thought it would be like this complicated thing, but it turns out to be very simple. And I liked that. I liked the simplicity of the ending. Especially because I feel like Doctor Who can get really over the top.
Yeah.
And so that is my thoughts.
I felt like they did enough running around. It felt like they ran a marathon. Yeah. And at the end it was like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it.
That's valid.
And it was sweet at the very end how they...
It is
that was
sweet.
very cute. Not to spoil, but it was very cute.
And I do think this is the most solid season since season 4. Since, like, David and Donna.
I don't want to get the impression I didn't like, because, like, the episode before with Jonathan Groff.
Yeah! The Bridgerton episode.
Oh, my God. I loved every second of that, and I love that they're, like, going, you know, the gay route a little bit.
Yeah.
I love that, because I don't think that that's ever been really...
Oh, I mean, Captain Jack he was like pansexual.
He was everything.
He was just kind of into everyone,
I don't think it was his sexuality. He was just a big ol'... He just liked having sex.
He's just a slut. But, I liked that too. But I think just the writing this season was so solid. Yeah. And I loved pretty much all the episodes. I didn't really like the Devil's Cord. I thought that was a little bit silly, corny.
Is that the one with
where they go back to the 1960s and
the person is dressed up as like music?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I liked that one. I think
I thought that was a little goofy, but whatever. And I really liked 73 Yards.
I still don't know exactly what happened, but I liked it. I liked the way they shot it. I liked the pacing of it. And it makes you think a little bit. Because they brought it up again, didn't they? At the end of, like, that's how far away you have to be to see the... Yeah. They kept, like, referencing it.
To see the big bad, yeah. And so, I think for 73 Yards, like, the woman was her all along.
Yeah.
And so, when she was finally old enough to get back to the spot that... you know how she stepped on that witch's trap or whatever that was, like the woman was able to stop her from stepping on the witch's trap, which like completely erased that timeline. And so she, like that Ruby that lived her whole life was essentially like erased,
right?
And so Ruby never remembered
and
it.
That's what confuses me about the time travel.
See, I don't think it's that confusing, just because like it doesn't become an issue. It's just you stop yourself from doing it in the first place. I don't know. It makes sense to me.
It doesn't, because it makes me think, what? I mean, I obviously don't pay close enough attention to really know what's going on, but it just confuses me even more, because it's like, what if she stopped herself from doing it? How did she get there to begin with?
Yeah, I guess you could.
Because as an old lady, she's already lived that timeline, so now she's going to stop herself from doing it again.
Yeah, and
now that lady's what happens? She just disappears.
Yeah, she just blinks out of existence, I guess.
And I know it's Ruby.
It is,
but
Ruby.
like,
I want to know what she was saying to like all of the people. Remember when like
I know they never addressed that.
when young Ruby was like, "Oh, go up to that woman, see what she wants," and she whispers to them, and they like run away, and they never want to talk to.
I know,
young
even
Ruby
her own
again.
mother
That
was like,
that doesn't make any sense to me, but. No. Yeah, I did enjoy the episode. It was spooky. It was, I don't know.
Yeah, they did
I really
explain
liked
everything.
It. And the writing was good. I feel like the two main leads have really good chemistry, and not like romantic chemistry, but you know, like playful.
I like their
friendly energy.
That's one thing I really love about Doctor Who in general, is that they don't turn every single partner into a romantic.
They got it right with Rose, and I feel like they don't really want to explore that again. Right. Not for a while,
right?
Because like they did get it so right with Rose.
That was
because like she had a lot of chemistry with both Eccleston and Tennant.
Yeah,
and I feel like that makes it make sense.
Yeah, but that's what I love about it, is that like not everything has to be a romantic thing. But I hate romance, so I'm a little biased.
We're slowly fixing that, though.
I don't know.
We're getting you into it. I mean, it started with Taylor and Travis.
Oh, they're so
and
sweet.
then Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron in that one movie. That's you just need 2 entry points.
I think that was more about Zac Efron than really anybody else. But so we do need to talk about Travis is in the concert.
I know he's in
a suit. Carrying.
Yes.
That was so amazing.
Yeah, so if you're listening, you don't know, I think it was in London. I think it was like night 3 in London. When she's starting the Tortured Poets Department set of the Eras tour, usually there are 2 of her backup dancers that come out and like they pick her up off the floor and they like get her dressed into a different outfit, and they're trying to like revive her because it's after the smallest man who ever lived, and she like quote unquote dies after, you know. And so they're bringing her back to life, and it's usually 2 people up on that stage, but night 3 in London, Travis is there too, and it takes people a little bit to realize it's him. And he's the one that like scoops her off the floor and takes her over to the couch, and like the other main person is there, and he's doing the bulk of the work because like he knows the choreography, he knows like all of his marks and stuff, and Travis is kind of just there goofing off. But it is funny that he was up there, and he and his brother Jason were talking on their podcast, New Heights, about like the process of that, and apparently it was Travis who wanted to be on stage.
I heard that too. Yeah,
he's like, what if I come up on like the blank space bikes when you're doing 1989? And she's like, do you really want to be on the stage?
That's so sweet.
And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so, like, she found a more appropriate spot for him to be at. Because I feel like the bikes is probably a more intricate choreography that, like, needs to be honed.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but...
I haven't either. And
I have seen him dancing to the choreography. You know where they have, like, the... I don't know what song it is, but they have the... like, the disco ball-looking jackets on. Like with all of the glitter stuff on it.
No, but can you hold that thought?
Yeah.
So we can do like news and stuff. So yeah, more Eras Tour talk after this break. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Monica Ricks. Independence Day celebrations are happening all over the country today.
I'm Bruce Marcus in Three Lakes, Wisconsin, a small community that draws thousands for its July 4th parade. The weather is ideal and patriotism is on full display. American flags are everywhere.
Elsewhere, Maine held lobster boat races today. The descendants of the Declaration of Independence rang the Liberty Bell in Philly, and in New York.
Patrick Bernaletti, 58, Nathan's Famous, hot dogs and fun.
ESPN aired the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest from Coney Island. This year's winner, Patrick Bertoletti of Chicago. Mickey Suter won her 10th mustard belt on the women's side. A somber celebration in Highland Park, Illinois, meantime, which held its first 4th of July parade in 2 years following a mass shooting. Mayor Nancy Rodering.
In the aftermath of July 4th, 2022, one of the third graders who came through City Hall asked me, do we ever get to celebrate the 4th of July again? And I said, absolutely. So today is that first step.
7 people were killed during celebrations there in 2022. The shooter is set to go on trial next year. The FBI and Homeland Security issued a warning to law enforcement this week to be extra vigilant during holiday celebrations. July 4th is a symbolic day and an attractive target to terrorists. However, the bulletin notes right now there are no specific or credible threats. A shooting today at Yellowstone landed a park ranger in the hospital. CBS's Lindsay Reiser.
Rangers responded to reports of someone with a firearm making threats. When they contacted the person, there was an exchange of gunfire and the suspect was killed in the shootout. The injured ranger is said to be in stable condition and being treated at a nearby hospital.
He's expected to be okay. Beryl has been downgraded to a Category 2 storm as it continues slamming parts of the Caribbean. It is forecast to hit the Yucatan Peninsula and could weaken even further before making landfall there later tonight. A scorching heat wave is making it hard for fire crews to contain a fast-moving wildfire near Sacramento. CBS's Elise Preston's in Orville.
It's a full-scale assault against the Thompson fire.
We're in red flag conditions right now. You can see the wind. The temperatures are above 100 degrees.
Fueled by extreme heat, bone-dry brush, and strong winds. The flames just feet away from Paul and Karen Raymond's home.
We seen the fire coming, and it was coming fast.
About 30,000 people have evacuated so far, and now firefighters are warning people against lighting any fireworks tonight that could start more fires and make things even worse. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Jim Hunter with KCJJ News. The Mid-Prairie School District Board is standing behind its superintendent as he and two other former administrators face a hearing from the state's agency overseeing teaching licenses. The Iowa Board of Education examiners say they found probable cause on 3 possible violations. They include delegating tasks to unqualified personnel, failure to adjust an assignment if a teacher discloses they're not properly licensed for the assignment, and failure to protect the safety of staff and students. The board issued its finding against Superintendent Brian Stone in May. The district board extended Stone's contract and raised his salary in June. They have refused to say when they learned of the allegations, citing confidentiality provisions. The Mid-Prairie School Board met behind closed doors Monday to evaluate Stone's performance and told KCRG-TV on Tuesday that they support Stone. In a statement to the TV station, the board acknowledged the finding against Stone, former middle school principal Rod Hruby, and former special education teacher Amy Shalia. They believe there is no substantive basis for the board's finding and will work with the Board of Educational Examiners to resolve the issue fairly. The district says they are bound by law to maintain confidentiality of personnel information and is not providing specifics on the allegations. Middle school principal Hruby took a job as an associate principal at Clear Creek Amana in April before the findings were released. The school district says it will wait for the investigation to be completed before making any policy decisions regarding Hruby. Shalia now works for Lone Tree Schools. Superintendent Tyler Hotz told TV9 in a statement that Ms. Shalia does not agree with the finding and will work with the board to resolve the issue. The district also cited confidentiality provisions and declined further comment. A Washington man allegedly upset after being told he couldn't live at a woman's new apartment is accused of assaulting her. The incident occurred at the Tiffin apartment of the victim Wednesday afternoon. According to the arrest report, 26-year-old Baron Cunningham became angry when the woman told him he couldn't live with her at the new apartment. When she said she was going to call 911, he allegedly grabbed the phone from the victim's hands and threw it beside the refrigerator where she couldn't reach it. Cunningham's actions reportedly caused her pain and left red marks. The woman tried to leave the scene several times, but Cunningham reportedly blocked her. He also allegedly put his hands on her neck and caused 2 small bruises on the bottom of her chin. Cunningham was arrested and charged with assault causing bodily injury, false imprisonment, and obstruction of emergency communications. If convicted on all counts, he could be sentenced to up to 25 months in jail. A no-contact order was requested between Cunningham and the victim. Over 24 cities and 1 county in Iowa have applied for traffic camera approval from the Iowa Department of Transportation. The state legislature passed a new law restricting use of traffic cameras and directed how revenue from those cameras could be spent. Among the new provisions was that cities, counties, and municipalities must apply for the use of the cameras and provide written justification for their requests. KCRG-TV reports area communities who applied to use the cameras include Cedar Rapids, Marion, Davenport, and Muscatine. An Iowa City woman was charged with theft after allegedly stealing a donation box from a restaurant. The incident reportedly occurred Monday afternoon at Taco Loco on Boyram Street in Iowa City. According to police, 41-year-old Kamisha Terry of the Town and Campus Apartments removed a plastic donation container from the counter and concealed it in a bag. She then allegedly left the restaurant with the container. Staff from the restaurant followed Terry outside. She reportedly dropped the container in the Hy-Vee parking lot and walked away. Police say there was $44 in the container. Terry was charged with fifth-degree theft. She was also allegedly with a person who was a protected party in a no-contact order, and Terry was cited for contempt. In sports, Liberty continues its climb up the Class 5A poll in the latest rankings released by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. The Lightning improved from 11th to 9th this week. Meanwhile, Williamsburg fell from the top spot in Class 3A, switching places with the previous number 2, Benton Community. 3 local teams held steady this week. Clear Creek Amana at number 12 in Class 4A, West Liberty number 11 in Class 2A, and Regina held steady at number 6 in Class 2A. Our final regular season summer sports broadcast is coming up Monday night on KCJJ as the West High baseball team hosts Clear Creek Amana, first pitch at 5 o'clock. Our early postseason schedule is up and can be found on the KCJJ app and at 1630kcjj.com. That's a look at Iowa City's news first on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. I'm Jim Hunter.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. On and off showers and storms into your Friday morning with lows in the mid-50s. For Friday afternoon, pop-up showers and storms and highs in the mid-70s. On into Saturday, mostly sunny and a high in the low 80s, and then clouds return Saturday night. That carries over into Sunday, scattered showers and storms, and highs again in the low 80s. And rain chances continue into early next week. That's your KCJJ forecast. Right now, it's 80.
You're listening to Molly Suter on the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Hour 2 of Molly Suter and the Other Girl. There is nobody in our YouTube chat room.
There was 3, but I think that's you, me, and KCJJ probably.
Yeah, so if you want to see us in the studio and chat with us, please go there. Our channel name is the mighty 1630 KCJJ. We also have a chat room in our app, but I don't check that nearly as often as maybe I should. I don't like that we have 2 different ones.
Well, and I don't, like I told you, I had the problem with I'm an idiot, and somehow I connected my KCJJ app to my Kindle reading. Like, when it says, do you want to open with this app? I accidentally said yes.
Oh, my God.
And I've deleted the app, and I've re-added it again, and then it happened again. Like, it didn't happen again, but it's still, like, connected somehow.
Right.
So I only download the KCJJ app when I want to find out about weather.
Right.
Because usually there's people in there chatting saying, hey, I'm over on such and such a...
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, and it's Karma, the Karma jackets.
Oh,
that
it's
have
the
like glitter
Karma
things.
jackets.
So that they do like a routine. And I've seen video of him like either in the stands or off to the side doing the routine.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. So he's like
Yeah, he's just off to the side of the stage.
People out there that want to be a good partner, look at what Travis is doing.
Yes,
he's paying attention. He's
very
interested.
supportive. Yeah.
She's interested in his stuff, and they support each other in their things. Like that's like the base.
That's beautiful.
I know that's the base of what we should be waiting for. Is
exactly
a partner that does that,
and
now,
isn't just tolerating your like work or whatever you want to do, but
or
like
hiding you away,
but is
or...
actively like supporting you,
exactly.
and not even just supporting, just like taking an active interest.
Right.
In it.
Right.
Which I feel like they're both doing, which is nice.
I mean, she doesn't go to football games.
Yes, she does.
Before him.
Oh,
she wasn't going to football games before him. So I think it's great that she's doing that, and she's in there.
I think she's enjoying herself too. Whenever they pan the camera to her, she's always like reacting how she should be reacting. Like she's having fun, or not having fun, depending on how the Chiefs are doing. But
and then the one thing that was kind of amazing to watch is when she was at maybe it was, I don't remember, it was in England somewhere. They had the VIP tent. Mm-hmm. Have they had VIP tents in other areas and we just never noticed it? Or
they have VIP tents in every city, pretty much.
Why was this one so amazing? Because I don't remember seeing.
Because it was London.
I mean,
and there's like, it's not just like.
But half the people in there were American
celebrities.
It's so I'm like, what? Like Tom Cruise and Julia Roberts and like all these people like together in the same spot.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is going on?
Like, I guess because London, more people probably live there than you think, like in terms of celebrities, even if they're not British themselves. And so like with the American dates, like you got mostly Americans in the VIP tents, right? And I feel like with an international city like London, you have the opportunity to have like different people there. But yeah, I believe there's a VIP tent for every show, especially like New York, LA, Nashville.
Maybe this one was like placed in a way that was more, people could see it
more center. Yeah.
Because I was like, every morning I was waking up to TikTok. I'm like, okay, who was at the show last night?
I've been seeing that since the tour started.
I guess I'm not. I was never on that side.
You're kind of new to the frenzy.
I've been getting TikTok though. I mean, Taylor has been on my TikTok since the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm, a fan now, but I'm not a Swiftie by any. I'm too old.
You're not too old to be a Swiftie. Come on now.
I don't even remember what the jacket things were, what song, like.
Well, I didn't either. When you said the sparkly jackets, I'm like, that could be anything. She wears sparkles throughout the show, and everyone does.
I did watch almost the completion. There's a woman that, I swear, it was months ago she started this. A beaded dress that she beaded, like hand beaded. And she would show us techniques and stuff, but she had like a little picture from like every album probably on this dress.
Oh,
and she's finishing it like days before the concert that she's going to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was pretty amazed.
If you find that again, send
I will. I'm sure it'll pop up again because I hadn't followed her, but I remember watching her do beading for many videos.
I've seen so many people like recreate her bodysuits or like her sparkly dresses. Like if they're crafty, they do it themselves. Like they'll get like this leotard and then just glue so many rhinestones onto it and try to make it like as realistic to hers as possible. And I was contemplating not doing it myself, but like going on Etsy and like commissioning a piece like that for myself. But I'm like, that's a lot of money just to spend on one garment that you're gonna wear once. Even though like if I were to do that, she has this dress that she wears sometimes for the folklore era. It's green. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so if I were going to commission a piece for something like this, it would have been the green dress because it's beautiful. I'll send you if I
I'm sure I've seen it. I just can't picture it.
But it's beautiful. It's my favorite outfit that she wears on the tour period. And it's a rotating one, so she only wears it sometimes. And so whenever like it pops up on my Twitter feed or my FYP, I'm just like, yes, she's wearing the green dress. And I hope she wears it to one of my shows. I like the white one too, but the green one is especially pretty.
When are you going again?
I have tickets to the 15th and 17th of August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm so excited. But I'm going to be in the UK a little bit before that.
Yeah.
Just to make it a vacation,
Yay.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I'm excited for you.
I can't wait for it to get here. It's only like 5 weeks away, and so I'm like, argh.
When I saw she was playing in England, I'm like, I thought that's where Molly was going, but she must be coming back.
She's coming back, yeah. So she went to Edinburgh, and then down to Liverpool, and then London, and then Dublin, and now she's in Amsterdam. Then she's going to Germany, maybe France again.
Do you think this will be her last concert for a long time, or
like tour?
Yeah.
Do you know
because she's been touring for like a year.
She has been touring for about a year and a half. Yeah, by the time she finishes, it will have been almost 2 years. Because she wraps up in December of this year, 2024. She started in March of 2023. But yeah, I thought that would be like a natural place to, maybe potentially get married or settle
that's
down
something I'm like,
or
she's
whatever.
Gonna have babies within a year of her stopping, probably.
If she wants to have babies, I don't know if that's a goal anymore, but I don't know, because now I've heard rumblings of her making more new music, and I'm just like, you can rest a little bit if you want.
I don't understand how she has so much. I mean, so I watched a video of a Swiftie saying, when somebody asks me what kind of music I listen to, I tell them all kinds of music. And then they showed a clip of like Taylor Swift going through every single rap, everything. She hit every single genre.
It's not rap, but
she did a rap though, as it was a joke, I think, but she did a rap song. And
yeah,
they showed clips of
it was
everything.
a joke one. Yeah.
I mean, like gospel, jazz.
It wasn't actually gospel, but yeah.
I know, but like,
I know what you mean.
I just didn't realize what a range she has had.
She does have
how she's like kind of grown through all of the music.
She does have quite a range.
Yeah.
Which is why it makes me like a little bit peeved when people still insist like, oh, all of her music sounds the same.
That's what aggravates me too.
And
yeah.
they only know Shake It Off, and they only know We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, and they only know Me, and they only know You Need to Calm Down. You know, like they only know like her poppy stuff.
Right, that she wrote.
Yeah.
Like she's not getting this from a stable of songwriters. She's like writing all this herself.
I know.
Yeah, I've always been a defender of her. I just didn't really. I don't really get into music that much anyway. But
I know you don't.
Yeah, but I do appreciate.
That's why I'm impressed that you've like embraced Tortured Poets Department as much as
I
you
really
have.
liked it.
Yeah,
I mean, all the songs kind of had the similar. Like,
they do
like vibe.
They do. But they're good.
But I do wake up singing Smallest Man sometimes.
Yes.
Every once in a while, songs pop into my head.
No, she's like the master of bridges. And so whenever like she has a bridge like that, it's going to be so much fun to like yell that in the stadium. Because I've seen TikToks of like people a few miles from the stadium and they can hear like them screaming along to like Smallest Man Who Ever Lived or All Too Well or something like that.
I mean, I don't know that I'm a fan, but I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this on the way over here. If she ever started a religion, I would seriously consider it.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, she could be the prophet we were promised. Who knows? I just caught up on House of Dragons. So I'm like, the prince that was promised. Maybe she's the person that will save us.
I'm a little bit concerned with how susceptible you are to religious cults.
I told you I had an ex-boyfriend that said, I'm surprised you haven't been in a cult.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've come close.
Maybe the opportunity hasn't presented itself.
Nobody wants me in their cult, trust me. I'd be complaining about how hungry I was all the time.
What if you're in like a food-based cult?
Well, I'm just saying, if that's a thing, sign me up. If they feed you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, if anything, cults are kind of weird about food, and they probably like restrict it.
Well, that's because that's one of the tactics. Is
Yeah,
that they starve you so that you don't have
because
like,
you don't
your
have
brain is like
you
not
don't have,
working.
Yeah, you don't have energy to fight. And
Right.
You don't have like the cognitive will to like
Right.
know that it's something bad's happening to you.
Yeah, and I also have that thing where it's like I want to be like I want somebody just to tell me what to do, but then I
Yeah.
also don't like being told what to do. So
That's a mood.
yeah, and I don't. That doesn't go well with cults, but
No.
and
feel like
also
you
my
have to be-
intention, like I would be all in for the cults for like maybe 6 months, and I'd be like, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna start. I was gonna say, I'm gonna start
shift to another
crocheting. So the weirdest thing happened, and I think everything can be connected to Taylor Swift. I think she's the new Kevin Bacon. Especially when you add in
What
all
do
the
you mean?
you know how people say 7 degrees or 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Oh.
You can connect everybody. Like when you add in like all the celebrities that come to the
Right.
shows and stuff, like you've got connections everywhere. I mean,
Well, I feel like a lot of she's just at the point now with like a lot of celebrities are just fans of hers,
right?
And she doesn't necessarily know them, but like they are celebrities or actors or singers in their own right, and like they have a spot at the VIP tent. You
Yeah.
know, like when the cast of Outlander went.
Yeah.
I doubt they know Taylor personally.
I know, but like you can connect her now to
Yeah.
like all these people, and she's been doing lots of stuff everywhere. But like also, I want to learn how to crochet. I haven't gotten very far.
Oh, you saw that dress that she wore?
And I swear that week,
Yeah.
she came out with a crochet dress and all over. I'm already kind of in crochet TikTok. Every single person was making that dress. And I thought, I don't, like, you can, like, anything.
It was a pretty dress.
Taylor can be connected to every single thing in the world, I think.
If you make that dress, let me borrow it.
I was trying to tell my niece, I'm like, I only want to learn how to do, like, one little project. I don't want to actually retain any of the skills. I just want to follow somebody on TikTok and just do the project and then be done with it. I don't want to learn how to do chains and all these things. I don't want to make my own patterns. I just want to learn how to do granny squares, and that's it.
I have an aunt who is really crafty, and so when I was 13, I expressed an interest in learning how to sew. And so she gave me lessons and gave me, like, you know, baby's first sewing kit and things like that. And she got me this, like, really cute sewing machine. It was light blue, and I don't know if I still have it. Maybe I gave it to a friend of mine, but I mean, I stuck with it for maybe 6 months, which is impressive for a 13-year-old, especially me being 13. And I made my sister a lot of things. I made her a pillowcase. I made her decorative pillows that spell out her name, AMY, and she still has those. I made a skirt that I never actually wore to myself because, like, I was a shy kid. It was a zebra finch skirt, and I'm like, I'm never gonna wear that. I'm never gonna wear that to school. That would draw way too much attention to myself. But yeah, I liked doing it, and then I fell off of it. I didn't start doing it.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I sewed for I was regularly doing projects for about 3 or 4 years.
Really?
And then I just fell off.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. I mean, I made, this is the one year I made Easter outfits for each kid and myself. We all coordinated. And then my youngest was still young enough to have an American Girl doll that she carried around. So the American Girl doll had a matching outfit also. I mean, I was that sewing mom.
Wait, which one did she have?
I don't know. She had a bunch of them. That was like what she spent all of her money on. I forget which ones she had. We still have some of them in a box somewhere. She doesn't want to get rid of.
Yeah, I still have mine too. I had Kaya, the Native American Girl doll, and then I had Felicity, who was like Revolutionary War era.
I don't remember. I just remember when they would come, they would get delivered at my work.
Oh, yeah.
And my daughter would be like, bring him home so I can do unboxing. She would like unbox and video. She would never post them anywhere, but that was the big thing back there. Is the unboxing of, yeah.
That's cute.
They start kids early on YouTube with consumerism.
Yeah, they do. So she probably had like a newer edition doll than I had.
I mean,
unless you got her some of the classic one or one of the classic ones.
I mean, I supported her in ordering. She used all of her birthday money. We would get her stuff too. But and then every vacation we took, we would find an American Girl doll store she could go to. So we've been to all of those, but like St. Louis and Chicago and Georgia.
My dad thought the American Girl doll store was like hell on earth for him. He's like, they have a salon for the dolls. They have a cafe for the dolls.
I know, it's cute.
It is cute, but he's like, I don't get it. He was like tweaking. He was like
my friend Wendy lives in Chicago, and so when the kids were younger, I went there for like a trip, and she took us to the American Girl doll store and walked through. She's like, I'm not staying here. This is too creepy. Their eyes are following me. She's like, there's dolls everywhere.
You know, they took us to an American Girl doll store in Chicago because that's where they got all of mine that they would like give us for Christmas, because we used to go to Chicago for Thanksgiving. So what I imagine happened was the 2 years that we did get American Girl dolls for Christmas, they just bought them while we were in Chicago and then hid them from us, like in their luggage or something, until Christmas. And supposedly they took us to the American Girl doll store. I don't remember being in there at all. I think Amy does. Dad certainly does. It was a bad experience for him. And then Mom was just like, it's a doll store. Calm down.
I mean, it is excessive. There's dolls on every single inch.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't remember being there. I feel like I would have liked it.
I mean, depending on the age. I don't know if my daughter really remembers.
But why would Amy remember it and then I didn't?
Oh,
because she's younger. So I don't know.
Maybe there was a time traveler that stepped on a stick and now you don't have that memory anymore.
That's so true. It was probably Ruby Sunday. She probably talked to me. Hey, little girl, here's this American Girl doll. And I'm like, yay! And then she's zapped out of existence.
Exactly. So now that everything connected with her.
Yeah. But so at the end of Doctor Who, they kind of implied that Ruby wasn't going to come back.
That's what I was wondering, too, because I didn't
But I have a friend who, like, for some reason thinks that she's coming back. There's just going to be another companion, too.
Well, he's going to be searching for Jonathan Groff, right? Wasn't that implied?
I don't know. I think Jonathan Groff might have been a one-off.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Because, well, Jonathan Groff is in a very successful Broadway musical right now, and he just won a Tony. And so I imagine he's probably not going to be back for Doctor Who. He's probably going to be chasing more opportunities to be on the stage after following this win. Because it was a huge deal, him getting a Tony. So I would be surprised if he was back for Doctor Who.
Then why did he say, come find me? Didn't he say that?
He did, but I don't think that implies anything. I think that was just a cheeky, come find me thing. You know?
Well, I'm going to be really mad. I'm already mad.
Or maybe,
I'm pre-mad
or maybe
if he doesn't come back.
Or maybe it's a Captain Jack thing where, like, he's going to come back in 2 seasons for a few episodes, you know?
Or just come back as a different, like, they'll make up something like he's a Time Lord too, or something, and he can change bodies. Like that's the fun thing about science fiction fantasy. You can just make crap.
Okay,
up
but then that means it's not going to be Jonathan Groff.
I know, I don't
and
want that
care.
either.
And I don't care about the character unless it's Jonathan Groff. Because I thought the character was like okay.
I mean, they were so hot together too. I really shipped them bad.
Well, that's because they're both hot.
I didn't expect it. That was the thing. I was like, what? What is like? If you could have seen. I should have recorded myself because it was just like this whole reaction of like when they finally kissed, it was like, oh my God, is this really happening? It was happening. It was pretty fun.
But yeah, I'm going to have to, I won't do it immediately, but I will rewatch this season sometime because it was really, really good.
Yeah, I got to rewatch it and just like focus a little bit more.
Don't like put your phone down. I feel like this is like a show that there's a lot going on and you need to like focus on it. And I know it's hard because like I love putting something mindless on and scrolling and then like looking up occasionally. Like that's my ideal way of watching TV.
I mean, that's what
I can't do that with like serious shows though. I have to put on like a sitcom to do that, you know.
Big Bang Theory is a good one.
Or like
The Office is a good one.
I've been rewatching How I Met Your Mother and that was perfect.
I never really liked that show. I never really got into it.
It's aged so poorly because it started in 2005 and just the attitude towards women, the writing of the women, it's just not great. And it's very like, look, this is the cool chick who doesn't care if you're really, really sexist.
Yeah.
She is cool.
She's one of the guys.
Yes. Yeah. And it's annoying. Not that being one of the guys is a bad thing, but like the way that like she doesn't care if you like tear down other women.
Well,
because she's not her.
I've watched enough reality TV to know that if a girl is bragging about being one of the guys, she's a horrible human being.
Yes. Or like one of the, Neil Patrick Harris, his character is like a raging like womanizer,
misogynist,
and not just in a way that he sleeps with a lot of women, that would have been fine, but the way he talks about them after is just abhorrent. And so and I can't believe that like we were just like okay with that.
I mean, there's a lot of shows I don't want to rewatch.
I am
from my
rewatching
childhood.
it. Like because I do like the comedy in it when it's not misogynistic, and I do like the characters when they're not being misogynistic. But I'm just saying that the TV show did not age well.
Yeah, my daughter is watching Veronica Mars. Have you seen that?
Oh no, but I've heard of it.
Oh, you would. Oh, you haven't seen Veronica Mars?
No, I haven't. I know Kristen Bell's in it.
I think you would love it.
Really? What's it on?
I'm not sure what. It might be Disney.
Really? Well,
I feel like it was Disney.
I'm about to cancel that. So.
Well, keep it for another month and watch. I mean, she's like very young in it. I mean, this is probably one of her first roles. I think.
Yeah, because that one's from the mid 2000s, isn't it? Yeah.
It's older, and I remember really loving it, and I've been watching it while she's like off to the side. Mm-hmm. But I think you would really love that.
What is it? What is it about?
She is they're all in high school. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of an outcast.
She's in high school?
Yeah.
I thought she was like an adult woman in
No.
Veronica Mars. Oh my gosh.
High
Okay.
school, and, you know, it's like classic rich people, and she's not a rich person.
Mm-hmm.
And her dad is like, I think, maybe an ex-cop, but currently a detective. So she's kind of detective-y. And there's like, I don't remember exactly what the first season was, but somebody dies. And so she's trying to find out who the murderer is.
Oh.
And so that's kind of like...
So it's like Pretty Little Liars?
I didn't watch that show, but yeah.
No, it's... Don't start it. Pretty Little Liars is not good.
And then she's got her own things that she's got, like she went to a party and blacked out or something, and she's not sure what happened. So
no.
there was that stuff, and there's like these, you know, characters that start out as like really horrible people, and they grow throughout the seasons.
Okay.
And like, keep an eye on Logan. He's a pretty horrible dude at first, and then you begin to...
And I like that. I like when, like, a character is not great to start, but there's, like, a lot of character growth.
Yeah.
Like, what's her name? Alexis in Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
I loved her growth because it wasn't like she was a completely different person. Like, she was still, like, the fun, kind of vain person she had been, but she had, like, more depth to her now. I thought that was, like, so realistic, and, oh, it was beautiful. Yeah. I love the writing in Schitt's Creek.
I love that show so much.
Yes.
That's a good background show, too.
It is, yeah. But I think that one was too recent for me to rewatch. I think I have to wait for another few years, because I haven't rewatched How I Met Your Mother since it ended in 2015, and so now, like 9 years later, it's finally okay for me to to rewatch.
I just have shows I constantly play in the background.
See, I used to have one like that. I think I've said this before, but Parks and Rec used to be that show for me. Like, I constantly had it in the background, but it came to a point where it's like, okay, I am memorizing the dialogue. I have to switch to something else.
Yeah. Same. I switch it up. I think right now I'm on Law and Order. I've been rewatching at night.
Like the regular Law and Order?
Yeah.
I'll say I don't.
There's like
I've
50,000 seasons of it.
I've never watched regular Law and Order. Only SVU.
I didn't really like SVU so much,
love
but
SVU.
I loved Law and Order. I loved Criminal Intent.
Really?
That was my favorite.
I've watched a few episodes of Criminal Intent. I didn't love it, but I think I liked it better than regular Law and Order.
Yeah.
But SVU was my favorite because I love Mariska Hargitay in it.
I
She's
like
great.
her. And then there's another one like Organized Crime.
Yeah, that's the
I
new
haven't
one.
seen that one yet.
That's the new one with Stabler comes back.
I think I have a high school classmate that's in it. Like,
What?
Like as an extra.
That's cool.
Galway McCullough, if you ever find him. He's every once in a while,
that's a movie star name.
Yeah.
That's a movie star name.
Did not go over well in high school, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I imagine it probably didn't.
Yeah.
I would love to be in, like, the background of a movie or TV show one day. There's not a lot of opportunities to do that here because it's Iowa.
No, the two people I know are in California.
But when I was a freshman in high school, though, they were remaking Children of the Corn, and they were filming it in Iowa, and so they were, like, sourcing some of the extra kids, like, from Iowa schools. And there was this one guy in my Spanish class who was, I think he was a junior or a senior. So he was a few years older than me. But why was he... whatever. But he... I'm just trying to reconcile why he was in Spanish 1 as a junior or senior, but whatever. But he was an extra in it, and so I remember our Spanish teacher talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, it was cool. I got to be in, like, the scene where they get out of the cornfield and they start, like, attacking the town or something. And I'm like, that is cool. I didn't see the movie, even though he's in it, but I tried to watch the original Children of the Corn, like, during Halloween one year. I got halfway through it. I'm like, this is so boring. Nothing's happening.
But they're children.
Yeah, they're...
in the corn.
Yeah, they're creepy kids in the corn. I don't care. What is happening? There's not enough action for me.
There was another Iowa film, Zadar. I think it was called Zadar, Cow from Hell. Do you remember that?
No.
They filmed part of it in West Branch, of all places.
Oh, wow.
And there were some people in town that did it. I don't know that I was living there at the time, but I'm surprised you haven't missed Yeah, Zadar, 1989. I guess I wouldn't have been living there. I was actually.
Yeah, you're here.
In high school. But I think part of it was filmed in West Branch.
No, and I've never heard of that. Was that movie just like not popular?
Well, I don't know why. The Hollywood filmmakers go to Iowa to make a horror movie about a radioactive cow. I don't even know where you would want to watch it.
That sounds kind of campy.
It was super campy. I just remember hearing stories once I moved there about people that had been in it, and like some of the I think some of the town they used, like we have like an old bank looking building.
Yeah.
So they took the town and like the main street looks like an old school.
Yeah, it does
main
have
street, yeah.
really old buildings in West Branch, which is cool.
That is the one neat thing about living in Iowa. There's all the little small towns have like old fashioned main streets.
But
usually.
I was when we were on our way up to Minnesota for my aunt's funeral, I was just looking out the door, and like the countryside is beautiful in Iowa, but every time we pass through a town, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like so run down and like industrial. It's just it's very jarring because I rarely leave Iowa City to other places in Iowa. Like if I travel, I want to go somewhere else other than in this state.
Right.
But this state, like, and I know the Midwest in general, like there's just a lot of places that are not being like maintained and people are just leaving them.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not being maintained, because like our population is moving out. But I just...
Why would you want to see Iowa?
Especially now. Oh my god.
I mean, I'm stuck here because I'm swimming in debt, but you young people should leave or
but if we
run
leave,
for governor.
How's it going to be better? No, I'm not running for office. Oh my god. No, for the simple reason, like selfish reason, I don't think I could handle having over half the population so mad at me and hate me.
If you were governor, more than half of Iowa would hate you.
No, exactly.
Because you're liberal.
Because
and
I'm liberal,
most
yeah.
of Iowa is conservative.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could handle that.
I don't even
so
like it
disliked.
when... I mean, I assume people don't like me, but then also when I find out that they actually don't like me, I get my feelings hurt.
Right, exactly. And I feel like that's just human. Like, I think anyone who says, oh, I don't care what other people think of me, I think they're lying.
Yeah, and if you're a politician, you should not care about that.
I also feel like to be in politics, you have to have an ego. You have to have an inflated sense of self. You have to have an inflated ego because you can't be a politician and be humble. You can't be a politician and be kind of reserved. You have to be kind of like, I can do this, I can do this, I can fix it. Even if, whether that's a genuine belief or you're a liar, like even if you have genuine feelings that you can like fix something, I feel like you have to have kind of an inflated ego to even do that on a large scale. Or just be very, very ambitious. You know?
Or, be dumb enough to not know what you're doing and accidentally do the right thing maybe sometimes.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Although I'm still waiting for Kim Reynolds, the broken clock, to be right yet.
When is her office up?
We just reelected her like a year and a half
I
ago.
did not. I had nothing to do with that.
I didn't vote for her either, but we, the people of Iowa, we reelected her like a year and a half ago, and so we still have, 2.5 years left? Yeah, 2.5 years.
We used to be such a cool state. I mean,
I remember when I was growing up, I was like proud to be here because I'm like, yeah, we're kind of purple, but like at least we're trying, you know. And now it's not even that much of a swing state anymore. It's just the blue counties are Johnson, Lynn, and Polk. And then, wait, what is the one Waterloo? Blackhawk?
Probably I should know that, but I don't know.
Whatever county Waterloo is in, also kind of blue. That's like 4 out of 99. Yeah. Wait, maybe that county way west, you know, that's basically Omaha, Council Bluffs. Maybe Maybe that's blue.
You know more than I do. I just know that
I think there's like
we suck
5.
right now.
There's like 4 or 5 counties that are consistently blue out of 99. That's not good odds.
No.
Yeah.
Burn it all to the ground and start over.
Oh yeah, for real. Anyway, happy 4th, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Yay, America. America as a whole is not doing great either, I don't think.
No.
But I don't like traveling, so I'm not moving.
Oh, Veronica Mars is on Hulu. Thanks, Elvis.
Oh, so you need to. If I'm wrong about this, I think you'll love it.
Okay, I like your confidence. I'm voting for you.
It's like it's very go girl, kind of like she's the strong character in it.
Yes,
I love it.
And I feel like in a show that was made in like the mid 2000s, I feel like I will like that. I feel like if they made like just a go girl like baseline feminism show today, I'd be like, okay, we've done this. But
yeah,
if it's the mid 2000s, I feel like I'll be like, okay, yeah.
And like I said, I've kind of been watching halfway when Katie's watching it out in the living room, and I think it's aging well. Like I don't think it's.
Oh, okay,
I wasn't like, oh, like did I like that back then? Like,
oh right.
You question your whole.
Yeah, I know. I'm scared that's gonna happen because so. A show from the 2000s I love is Scrubs, and I love that show. I'm so scared that like one day I'm gonna rewatch it like some years in the future and be like, oh no, this is aged horribly. Because I haven't rewatched it in a while.
I can't remember any of the humor being iffy.
No, it was mostly just JD being silly.
Yeah, it was a lot of physical.
It was a lot
humor,
of slapstick, yeah, which I feel like is not
and like
gonna...
fantasy type stuff every once in a while when they got like the later seasons got a little weird, but
yeah. So
I
I
always
think
enjoyed that show.
That will probably age okay.
Yeah, I always like get embarrassed when I'm like, yeah, my favorite show growing up was like Three's Company and Dukes of Hazzards.
Shows that I haven't watched, so I don't know. What made them bad? What made them like age?
Well,
poorly?
Dukes of Hazzards, they're driving around in a car that has the rebel flag on it, which is not. I know they're in the South.
Yeah. Still.
I don't know if that would age well. And then, The Love Boat was another one, and I know that did not age well because, like, the main character, like the doctor character, was like such a. Like a ladies' man, quote unquote, but really he was just kind of a big whore. And I don't think Love Boat would age well. But like they don't have shows like Love Boat anymore, where like B-list guest stars come on. Do they? I mean, they had a bunch of shows like Fantasy Island and Love Boat. You could always
was Love Boat like a
have
sitcom or is that a reality?
It was
show?
just it was based on a cruise ship. And so people would come on, and they would always have guest stars of whoever was big at the time that needed a paycheck, basically. like if you were an actor and your hit sitcom just got canceled, you would go to Love Boat.
Oh, okay.
Or Fantasy Island, they would have the big, that was the big days of the 80s and 90s where like they would do like the celebrity, like Olympics type shows. Do you ever watch those?
Oh.
Or see clips where you see like celebrities from like Falcon Crest against the celebrities from.
Okay, so Disney Channel did this thing back in the day, and I think maybe your girls would have remembered it, but they would have been young. It was this thing called the Disney Channel Games, and they got actors from different shows to compete.
Yeah,
in like
that kind of thing. Yeah.
In obstacles together. Yeah. And so it was kind of cool. It was like seeing all of your favorite like actors like interact with each other and like compete.
But there's no real. I mean, the only thing I can think of is I watch a lot of reality TV, and they're the big trend right now is they're doing shows like Traders and where they're asking
Perfect Match.
They're asking all of the people from from reality shows to come on these shows.
Yeah, like the Netflix reality shows. Yeah. Yes, I have seen that.
And The Villains, I think, is one of them too. Or that, like, I'm enjoying them because I know who half the people are, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's like
the Survivor All-Star seasons,
yeah,
which are always so fun. I need to get back into Survivor because I Because there was a time, like maybe a year and a half ago, when I was like going in chronological order in the seasons, just so I could familiarize myself with all of them. Because like previously, I had seen jumbled seasons, whichever ones my friends wanted to watch. But we don't watch together anymore, so I need to just.
I mean, I watched it when it first came out,
and
I probably watched the first 5 or 6 years worth, and then I just sort of fell off because it was just it was a lot to keep up on.
Well, I feel like now for the past couple of years, they've had like a contract with the nation of Fiji. And so every season, like since that contract, has been in Fiji. But I feel like one of the cool things about Survivor was that it was always somewhere different.
Right.
And so like, yeah, they would always have like a beach or like a water source or whatever. But like they would have challenges or rewards like centered around where you were, like the China season or the one where they're in, there was this one African country they were in. What was it? Oh, it starts with a G. That's gonna bug me. That's gonna bug me.
I have no idea.
But it was in an African country, and so like their rewards were like safari and like things like that. And in China, it was like visit a temple, and it was so cool just to see that. But now it's like.
Boring Fiji.
I'm sure like there are cool things in Fiji. I'm sure there are, but like season after season, like like the cool thing was changing year after year.
But then when the show runs its course, they can just turn that BG soundstage, into a resort.
Yeah, they could.
Survivor themed vacations.
Not like it's not on a soundstage.
Well, they have like stuff built for it, like they have to have
they have
housing for
they do have housing for the crew and for Jeff, and then for the eliminated players, sure. But maybe you're right, or maybe it was a resort, or maybe it already was a resort, and they were like, in order for it to not be closed, let's make this deal with Survivor and keep this open.
That could happen.
Yeah, I need to get back into it.
The only one I want to watch is there was a recent like all-star one, and I recognized like Boston Rob. That was back when I watched.
Oh yeah,
and is it Johnny Bananas is his name? The guy with blonde and curly hair. He's been on a couple villains shows too.
Johnny
Fair Play. Johnny Fairplay. Johnny Bananas is another one from MTV. But yeah, Johnny Fairplay.
Fairplay.
Because he like was a big. I mean, I don't remember if he won or not, but like I remember his season. He like took people that
he was ruthless.
He played the game. I don't know how he did it, but
he was ruthless. He was backstabbing all of his alliances. No, he was kind of a jerk too.
I know, but he like. I remember being at home going, I can't believe he pulled that off.
I know. It is very fun to see like the really kind of snaky players like pull fast ones and whatever in order to win. I mean, that's the game. You have to do that. But like, I feel like if I were on Survivor, and I never would be, by the way, I don't like the idea of slowly starving on an island and then being forced to do things. No, thank you. But if I were, I would be a loyal teammate, a follower. I'm just going to do whatever you guys are doing. And then I would either be eliminated really, really early or be the goat that people take to the end,
Because they know they can win against you.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody's going to vote for me because I didn't do any, like, move making or any...
Because you can't be too good at the things. But then you also don't want to put yourself in error. Like, in harm's way.
Yeah, so
I could never play the
again.
games.
That would just be like me slowly starving on an island, and I would have to prove my worth to make myself useful because I would not be good in challenges at all. So I feel like I would have to make myself useful around camp, or like catch fish, or something like that.
Gotta know how to make the fire. And...
fire making, earn my keep some other way, because I would be garbage at like any challenges.
I'd have to give out sexual favors because it's the only thing I would be. Not that I'm good at it. I'm just saying that's the only thing.
Do you know what? I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often.
It happens in Big Brother all the time, but
yeah, but I feel like on an island you're more concerned about survival and not like man, I need to
Nobody's,
have sex right now.
I mean, what isn't the hierarchy of needs? You need to have
Yeah.
your food and sleep and, comfort.
I feel like I only saw it happen with Ozzy and Amanda.
I didn't watch that season.
Oh, well, Ozzy and Amanda definitely hook up on camera.
I feel like Boston Rob met his girlfriend on one of the seasons, but he's been on a couple.
Well, Jeff, I think is married to a former contestant. Yeah. I don't remember what her name is, and I don't
know if I
remember
knew
what
that or
season
not.
she was. But yeah, they met while she was a player, and then I guess they just got to know each other, and now they're married.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah, I think that's cute too. Excuse me, man. We got so many likes on our Facebook posts, but there's nobody in this chat room.
I know, it was popping off.
And it's because it's the 4th of July, and they're probably, if anyone is listening, they're doing so while they're getting ready. They're
trying to find a spot to park.
They're making the Jello shots. I
was thinking about driving somewhere and parking out in the country and looking at the fireworks, but I don't even know what direction to.
Probably that way.
Okay.
And then looking at Iowa City.
Who's doing fireworks tonight? Corville?
Corville.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But there's
so
always some
go over
towns,
there.
Hills sometimes does it, and...
Yeah, I don't think Hills is doing... I think Iowa City might be doing it on Saturday nights.
I think I heard that, too. And Jazz Fest is tomorrow, right? Or no? Doesn't Jazz Fest do it at the end of Jazz Fest?
I don't know. I should, but I don't.
Above the Capitol?
Yes, they do
Where
that
everyone
at
takes
the end
pictures.
of Jazz Fest. I don't know if Jazz Fest is this weekend.
I think it is this weekend. I thought it was today, but someone told me it was tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, Summer of the Arts usually doesn't start until Thursday. Like the big downtown wide celebrations are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But yeah, I will be out of town. I'm going to one of my best friends from high school's weddings in Des Moines.
Fun.
Yeah. I'm actually not looking forward to driving to Des Moines. Des Moines is really not my idea of a good time, but we were best friends in high school, so I'm like, I'll go for you.
Are you driving or are you going?
Yeah.
Okay. Good for you.
I don't like it.
I know.
I think I've said this before, but it makes me anxious.
I can drive you in my new car. Drop you off. Pick you up.
I know. I'm gonna do it myself, but thank you. Thank you for the offer.
It's really comfy. You can sit in the way back, pretend like you're being chauffeured.
I love that. I have this friend who knows I hate driving, and I don't really like being a passenger either. I just don't like cars. I feel like in a past life, I probably either died in a car wreck. I think I did die in a car wreck in a past life, and I just don't like being in them now. I like being confined.
You have to ask Bonnie. She would know.
Ooh, maybe. I don't know if I want to know how I died in a past life, though. I don't know if I want that confirmed or not. Because what if she says, no, actually, you were an automobile engineer, and so you should be thriving in cars.
But you worked 8-hour weeks, and you were burnt out, so...
Oh, gosh. 8-hour weeks?
80-hour weeks.
Yeah, and so maybe that's why I don't like them.
Maybe
I just spent too much time with them.
Or you worked at a car wash.
Maybe. I haven't talked to Bonnie in a while. I've only had one reading with her, and that was in 11 years.
Two. The last one was basically she read more about my ex-boyfriend than me, so which says a lot about me, I guess.
What did she say?
I just went in there, and it was like the guy I was dating. We had broken up for like a month, and I went in to get a reading, and she was like reading him, like, you know what I mean, like, if that makes sense.
Because you were thinking about
it. And we ended up getting back together for a short period of time, and then broke up again.
Was she telling you like, this man is no good?
I don't remember what she said.
She doesn't sound like that, but she does have the southern accent.
I mean, she was right about the other boyfriend that it was not going to be a long-term thing. I mean, it was 5 years, but it still was not a forever, which I knew, but
yeah.
She only tells you things if you listen. I don't really listen very well, so.
Well, she told me, she was like, have you injured your shoulder? Like, she looked at me, and I'm like, no. She's like, be careful of that shoulder. I'm like, okay. And then that day, I injured my shoulder. I'm like, ah.
Now, some might say that's a psychological thing, but
It might be, but it might
I
not.
want to believe so badly and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
me
So
too.
I'm willing to give it a chance.
Me as well. All right, so we have maybe, 1 minute left. Any profound wisdom you would
No,
like to
just
impart?
Don't light short fuses.
Don't lose your fingers.
Right.
So many people
And
lose
don't
their fingers.
throw lit fireworks at people.
I feel like that's just common sense,
No,
I fear.
it isn't.
I feel like buying fireworks shouldn't be as easy as it is.
The same people buying fireworks are the same people that voted for the politicians that are in office right now.
Yeah.
So,
You know, correlation does not equal causation, but I feel like you might be onto something.
I'm just saying the intelligence is not super high.
I was telling the audience like a few days ago that when I used to live in Coralville, there are these neighbors that every 4th of July, I lived there for 4 years, so every 4th of July, they would stay up until like 1 in the morning a few times, like a few days before and a few days after the 4th, and set them off until 1 in the morning, like right outside my window, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I never knew like who exactly it was, but like,
I don't
how
think you can.
how inconsiderate are you that you do that until 1 in the morning? And
Yeah.
like, do you know where I lived in Coralville? I lived like in a pretty like residential area.
Right.
I didn't live like out in the sticks.
I
or
feel like they're
whatever.
cracking down this year because I thought I heard the sheriff
Good.
talking about how it's not legal in the city.
People do it anyway.
Yeah.
People do it anyway,
I
and
know.
it's annoying. I don't mind being a party pooper for that. Please, just
I'm the one that goes to the tent and I buy the sparklers. That's as fancy as I want to get.
Sparklers is different.
And the super snakes, I love those.
It's not like a noise
Right.
thing. Like, the noise is what bothers me.
Let's just say I'm never allowed to go buy the fireworks for a firework party because I come back with snakes and sparklers. Nothing loud.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for listening to my music show and then mine and Cindy's show as well. Have a good 4th. Keep all of your fingers, please.
Yes.
And
Stay
bye.
safe. Bye.
Yeah, stay safe. Bye.
From the Herteen and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630.